The Wii Sports series is among some of the top-selling video games of all time. Obviously, this is a little inflated because A, Wii Sports came bundled with one of the top-selling consoles of all time, and B, Wii Sports Resort was bundled with a controller. But that doesn't change the fact that these games were enjoyed by millions of people across the whole world. And it makes you a little curious, doesn't it? Why hasn't there been another game like Wii Sports in over 10 years, even though it was seemingly so wildly successful? Except for Wii Sports Club, but that was a mess on its own. Was it just because of the times and the novelty of it? I don't know, maybe. When I bought my Switch earlier this year, I was disappointed to see that there were no games included with it. At the time that I bought it, there were no special bundles at all. I honestly thought that 1-2 Switch would be included because that shit's basically a tech demo, but nothing. I think that's a pretty dumb move, and I do not understand why it's still $50. It made me think back to how much fun I had with Wii Sports and Wii Sports Resort. Sure, the original wasn't very deep, but the games were incredibly fun. Even the training minigames they squirted out on the side were enjoyable. Then, with Wii Sports Resort, we got to see the true capabilities of the Wii Remote now that it actually functioned as advertised. It obviously wasn't perfect, but almost every new game they created for it was still a hit. It makes you wonder how much better they could do now. From what I've seen of 1-2 Switch, not only is the technology advanced enough to let you guess how many balls there are in your hand, but they've already built the groundworks for all these motion-related games to work smoothly on Switch. We don't even need new games, just release the original to at an actual reasonable price. Another reason I want this to come to Switch is because the Switch is kinda lacking in party and normie games. Sure, Mario Party is pretty much back to its original formula, but it just isn't as good as it was before. And it's not as easy to pick up for newcomers. On top of that, you have to commit to this game. You can't just pick it up when you feel like it, then turn it off when you're done. You have to set aside some goddamn time in your schedule to fit in one game. Yes, there's also Mario Kart and Smash Bros. That are party games, but I think you could tell they don't exactly fit the right criteria. Ring Fit Adventure is the closest thing we have to sports gameplay, but it's still way off. It seems like they're adding stuff to Ring Fit Adventure though, so the possibility is still there. The Switch needs more fun games that take advantage of its truly unique hardware and that you could play with your grandma. If they were to bring this back, I think they should release it in the bundle they did that no one knew about. Seriously, I didn't know this existed until this year, and I don't even know if it's actually real, or I don't even know what I'm looking at. And since these are such simple games and they no longer require extra hardware, I think they would be cheap to make and should remain cheap for the buyer. It would be cool if they added an extra mode where you could just explore Woohoo Island, kind of like the flyover game in Resort, but without a time limit or the constraints of the plane. I know Woohoo Island is popular and people have been wanting it to come back somehow. We have had a dry-ass year in terms of games, and I think it would have been perfect to release this months ago, even now, while everyone's sitting on their asses inside their house. Overall, I miss the dumb shit that Nintendo released on the Wii that was strangely fun. I still use my Wii to play these games with my friends on occasion, and they're still hella fun. The pick up and play nature of the Wii is what made it so great, and so awful. I would really like to see what Nintendo could do with the technology they have now, and they've proven themselves to be creative again with the Switch and its games. I don't know what they're planning for this Mario stuff and possibly Zelda, but they're gonna really have to come out of the left field to compete with Xbone or Series whatever the fuck in the Wi-Fi router 5. Sometimes I don't feel like conquering shit or saving someone. I just want to save my body from becoming a lard of poo when I be gaming. Thank you for watching. Also, I want to play Switch with my grandma.